a survivor build in 2025, which was the infinite sprint burst build with ghost notes. So today we're going to do the best meta survivor build for 2026 with dramaturgy instead, and our other perks consist of decisive strike, finesse, and windows of opportunity. Cool, we're just going to do dramaturgy. Wait, she's not even chasing us there. We have got a map. I don't think so. We'll take the med kit back straight away. But yeah, Ghoul's obviously not a good killer. Well, not a good killer to go against with any build, really. But especially not with Dramaturgy, since she gets that first hit in so quickly. Looks like our teammate's taking her away there, though. We'll move back in for this Jan to start us off. Let's do it. All right, moving back in. Need to split up from him, but I don't know. Wow, I thought he moved. We're gonna have to play this. Take it. Take a head nod as well. Hopefully we can get her on us. Our teammate can get away there. I think she will go for us. Try and get us injured. Put us deep wound. There's the finesse. Finesse is gonna save us.
Hello friends, this is Odds for tax reasons, and today we're going to be talking about every single survivor perk. We will start with the strongest one, which we'll spend a little bit more time on, and then slowly get into the lesser used, not as popular, not as good ones. Spending less time on them, but still talking about why they are good or how exactly they can be used in niche scenarios. If you only watch a little bit of this video, you will still have a very solid idea of what the meta for Survivor is. If you watch all of it, you should be quite prepared for anything. Needless to say, this video is most useful for Survivor players that need to run these perks in order to have a better chance, but it is also useful for killer players to watch, because that way you can be ready and know what to expect, especially if you've taken a break from the game or if you're a bit of a beginner. Now, let's put the perks on screen. We will have the description on that side, and as you see, we'll go through every single perk. And I think we're ready to start with arguably the strongest survivor perk in the game, Decisive Strike. It is no secret that the strongest strategy for killer is to tunnel a single survivor out. By tunneling, we mean that you focus on one survivor, hook them, wait until they're unhooked, hook them, then hook them again, get them out of the game. Decisive Strike is the most unavoidable obstacle that a killer that's trying to tunnel will face. It is mostly unavoidable, except for maybe Pyramid Head and other killers that have a few gimmicks here and there. Maybe if you have a Mori for the second hook, but it is mostly an unavoidable thing. And even in those scenarios, survivors can always go into a locker and force you to eat the Decisive Strike. This will stun the the killer for a few seconds, can only be used once, but what makes Decisive Strike so strong, not only does it obviously stop a tunneling killer, it also has great synergies with other perks. So you can use the next perk that we'll talk about off the record to tank to hit and then use Decisive. Because Decisive will free you from Deep Wound, you can then use Dead Hard afterwards. It also pairs really well with Lithe or other exhaustion perks like even Smash Hit, so that you can Decisive Strike and then drop a pallet on a killer or use a pallet or a window to make a lot of distance. It's simply the most momentum killing perk for a killer that is trying to play optimally. If you run this perk and the killer doesn't tunnel, the perk is wasted, yes, but if the killer doesn't tunnel, that means you have a really good chance to get back on gens, and the game might not go so well for them. One really nice thing about this perk is that it cannot be played around with things that cause deep wound, as some other anti-tunneling perks that we'll see later. Basically, you're called off the record. Off the record is it's just arguably also maybe the strongest perk in the game. It is an incredibly powerful perk that does the effects of like two per your first unhook, aka you and tries to vulnerable and you just full, or completely side 100% airing stuff that you make. Then if the killer has this perk really climbed up the tier list, person with Unbreakable can pick themselves up in 24 or so seconds. Without anyone's help, makes it so that killers are way more likely to be afraid of slugging. In a lot of scenarios, if this perk never existed, killers would down one survivor, down another survivor, and just leave them on the ground because it generates so much pressure without wasting the time of picking them up. Right? If everyone is on the ground, well, and no one can pick themselves up, the game is over. The way you can pick that person with it comes to the kill average survivor is something that is simply very strong. Well, with the regular survivor delivery is that devour, but this argue that this is the most in no way. Now I'm going on maps and now make you that in Shiva. Only 3 gens left in the game. Scenarios still really solid perk, however. The next perk, Deja Vu, is also quite popular, but honestly, I wish it was even more popular. Deja Vu highlights the 3 closest gens to each other. And also gives you a little bit of a boost of speed, which is always welcome when working on them. When there's only 3 gens left in the game, that means that all of the gens will be highlighted, and no matter which one you work on, you will get a speed boost. Now, Now, the speed boost is nice, but the information is really what really makes this perk shine. For beginner players that don't know the maps very well, that don't know where to check, which rooms can have gens, which buildings can have gens, this perk is unbelievably useful. And let me be honest, for even advanced players, this perk is still really useful in certain maps. We've all gone to maps like Midwich or Larry's, especially Midwich, which doesn't have any indication where gens are. And we go to a room that 90% of the time has a generator, and there's no generator. And then we go to the next room, which normally has a generator, and the generator there has already been completed. And we go to the next room, which has a generator, oh, but the killer is there. So we've been spending minutes looking for progress and nothing gets done. Or maybe we have a 3-gen, but we don't know where the 3rd generator is and we can't pressure the game properly. This perk makes people so absolutely efficient on gens. It makes even clueless survivors so good at constantly pressuring gens. I genuinely do believe it that if every survivor ran this perk, games would get immediately harder. So yeah, good for anyone of any level, but particularly intermediates and beginners. Very, very, very strong perk. The more advanced players will also benefit, of course, from breaking the 3-gen. Keep in mind that if you keep doing the gens that are highlighted by Deja Vu, if you do the 3 gens that are the closest, then the next 3 gens are going to be further and further and further and further, resulting in an end game where the killer has gens that are across the map that are not easy to defend, and one of them will get done, and then it's the end game. So yeah, very, very good stuff. Next up is Wicked. Wicked is possibly the most underrated perk so far. You rarely see this perk, and it is unbelievably powerful. Wicked is pretty much a deliverance with no prerequisite, doesn't need to be activated, and also has the secondary effect of seeing the killer's aura for 20 seconds upon being unhooked, which is insanely long, can be even longer with a certain perk attached, and it doesn't break you. But it only works in the basement. Now, obviously, some killers going into basement, such as Trickster, Cannibal, you might not want to do that on purpose, but this perk is an unbelievably good insurance if you go into basement or if someone else goes into it. Say, for example, that your clueless teammate has gotten themselves hooked against a really tough killer. Well, you can go into basement, rescue them, and you'll be fine by yourself. But what
physically. That makes sense. Better expressing that kind of thing when I'm actually looking at a camera. At least that's how it is in real life. I don't know if looking at a camera would make that actually different, but oh, what is that? The dog tear. It's a dog tear. Ah, I thought I got outside the range of that. Oh, it's one of these unique loops, man. But we'll see. I don't really have a goal for it. So it will be whenever I feel like it. So you gotta watch all the videos. You never know when I could drop it. You never know. Could be next video. Could be the next one. Alright. So we have to do our a chore of 1 gen. If he lets me, at least. If he lets me do the chore. Yeah, I don't know about these, like... I guess I have windows, it's not too weird, but... I'm sure you could do some, like, crazy, weird, like, unique pathing on these. I just haven't really, like, looked at them, you know? Oi! Bob from Animal Crossing. Is there a Bob in Animal Crossing? I played Animal Crossing. I love the music. I remember when...
Subscribed. You got to be subscribed and you got to go to that link and enter it. You're running out of time. The draw is going to be this Saturday. This Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mega! Is the mega giveaway. Mega guy. You guys are going to get a bunch of my treasure. And boy, do I have some prizes in a store for you. And surprises in store. And ladies and gentlemen, we're just starting and we took out our next target in silver. We just surged above $90.31. We actually got up to about $90.44. And boy, oh boy, have they been after us today, ladies and gentlemen. We were growing, and then 1 SmackDown, 2 SmackDown, 3 SmackDowns a lady, but we built back up. They tried again, but here we are. After hours, Comex via the Globucks, and we're currently trading at $90 and what is that? 29 cents. Now, what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, when the Shanghai Futures Exchange, this puppy right here, opens? I want to know what you guys think. So, I'm going to put 2 arrows, and you got to tell me if you're team green or team red. Do you think it's going to gap up when we open, team green, or you think it's going to gap down, team red? Let me know in chat right now what you guys think. Are we going to gap up, team green? Are we going to gap down, team red? I see channel members putting in the BGC, which stands for the big green candle. So let's see what happens there. But I want to show you what happened what happened earlier. Now, remember, every single day during the week, the Comex closes from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 1-hour break. So when it closed and opened, we have a new gap in silver. That's right, from 88.33 to 88.50. Remember, all gaps must be filled most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time. So it is possible in the future we have a bounce back down there to fill that. Hopefully headed to higher highs. And speaking higher highs, we are headed towards our next target here of 91. So let's put an intermediary target here. 90.59 is going to be our next target, and then on to 91.01 there. Gold, same story, guys. Look at this gap. Look at this massive gap. I marked the gaps with the orange lines. So that's the gap we're going to have to fill eventually, most likely. Again, all gaps must be filled, but like 95% of the time. Okay, 5% of them don't get filled, but that's due to volatility. It's due to games. It's due to chicanery, geopolitics. So right now, gold's back over 5,000. They told us it was done, but it's back over 5,000, 5,012. And again, a Shanghai Futures Exchange is going to be opening here in 24 minutes, give or take 24 minutes. It did close at 99.28. But guys, I'm with Team Green. I think it's going to gap, and I think it's going to gap up. So we'll see what happens there. Gold to silver ratio is continuing to decrease. Again, after the massive attack they did on us, we're at 55.53 ounces of silver to every 1 ounce of gold. And ladies and gentlemen, We are at 62,091 subscribers. That means only 9 more subscribers until the next big show. So you got to be subscribed anyway to enter the mega giveaway. I'll put the link in chat for you to enter. So you might as well subscribe. You might as well see a big show. Maybe win some silver, gold, or copper. And some say you haven't lived unless you've seen a big show. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a big red candle here. And there's something we do on this channel that some scientists say works 90% of the time. Every time. It was not that long ago I was walking around in Boca Raton, Florida, live streaming near a gator-infested river, creek, tributary, whatever you want to call it, and you all told me to do the baby gator.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do the baby gator noise. Here we go. How do you do the baby gator noise? Yeah. I don't know. Whoa, whoa, what was that? It was a giant lizard just jumped. That thing was massive. I thought I actually summoned an alligator for a second there.
It was a massive lizard. I swear, I almost thought I was going to leave without a hand, a little nubbin, but fortunately, it wasn't the case. And I do want to shout out, all the channel members. All the channel members, we are going to have a war room at the end of this live stream. So all channel members, I need you to prepare for the war room. What happens in the war room stays in the war room. Clothing is not optional. And also a big shout out to all the Diamond Claws members in the chat. In the channel. I'm going to update this tomorrow, but shout out to all the Diamond Claws. Really appreciate y'all. Who in chat has Diamond Claws? Who's got them?
Diamond Claws.
And a big shout out to Daniel Whitley with the $2 New Zealand. Appreciate it, saying, did you see Vance's speech on price floors? Yeah, I've got breaking news, guys. So let me go to the breaking news, but really quick. We only need 3 more subscribers until the next big show. So make sure you guys keep subscribing. Let me show you what's going on here. It's so much breaking news. I've been putting it on X, now formerly known as Twitter, by the way. Now, international wouldn't fit, so it's INTL stacker, but I'm always putting out information on here, even when I'm not live, about to go live, or not going live. This is a way to stay in touch and get live intelligence from the ground. And thank you to everybody who sends intelligence into me. I aggregate it and I fact check and I push it out. So here's I'm going to read to you some rapid fire breaking news. So breaking news, lines in Japan for silver and gold. We've also seen lines recently in Singapore and Australia. Where else am I missing? So if you know any other places that lines are happening, please drop it in chat, or please drop it on this tweet here. And thank you to Jack Gallman for the $2 super chat. You, sir, are mega. Okay, the next piece of news here. Buckle up, crustaceans. Put on your battle armor. 24 more days to go. So, bar charts reporting that silver is on track for its 10 consecutive green month. Its long winning streak history. So, these are monthly candles. And when they attacked us, they broke the weekly candle. They changed the weekly candle from green to red. But they couldn't take the monthly down. They wanted to, so they didn't. So, we're on track right now for the 10th. Let's see if we could do it, but we're all going to have to buckle up. And shout out to Variable who put that out, said, tonight we dance. Look, alert, crustaceans have been seen migrating to China for tonight's open on YouTube. Don't be left behind. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see the Shanghai Futures Exchange chart right here start to move in just 19 minutes. Are you team green? Are we gapping up? Are you team red? Are we gapping down? The one thing I can guarantee you is we're gapping. I guarantee you that. I believe we're gapping up for a few reasons. One, we finished on a strong candle here, uptrend. Two, both silver and gold gapped up, and they're on the uptrend as well. So I believe that Shanghai is going to continue that. We'll see. Now, here's some breaking news I just broke. Breaking, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Lutnick confirms the U.S. already has a critical minerals stockpile for the military. Remember, silver was added to this list of critical minerals in December 2025, and that an additional stockpile for business is now being created. What do you think about this? The U.S. military and U.S. commerce are now silver stackers. I've been calling for this since August. Check out check out at 55 seconds in this video, and he talks about just that. And this is from the U.S. Commerce Department. That's a pretty big deal. And guys, don't forget. Please do remember. Don't forget. Back in August, when the U.S. added silver to the draft memo before it was approved, it later got approved after China approved theirs. It later got approved in December. But I was talking about how the U.S. strategic stockpile used to exist in the United States. It was unfortunately sold off in the 80s after the whole Hunt brother fiasco. And the U.S. used to be stackers, and now we are again earlier in the year, or actually would have been last year now, $2 billion was approved for stockpiling critical minerals. Another $12 billion was just approved. The president signed that in. And today was a critical minerals ministerial meeting at the White House. So folks from the mining industry, high-level politicians from all over the world descended upon D.C. to talk about critical minerals. And I'm going to show you exactly what that was above here in a second. I've got a tweet on it that has the exact details, so hold that thought until we get there. Good thing us stackers have been many central banks as of late. Are you still stacking? So this is in response to Gary Boehm saying, while the coming retail wave into gold represents the most explosive potential source of demand, the foundation of this bull market is being laid by the world's central banks. For the past several years, central banks led by China, Russia, India, and Turkey, guys, you notice what they belong to, don't you? The BRICS nations have been buying gold at a historic pace. And don't forget, China has a secret plan that's not so secret to back the R&B, rhythm and blues, the renminbi, the Chinese yuan, there we go, to back it by silver and then have back it by gold, and have a gold-backed currency that the rest of the BRICS nations can use. That's a big disruptor to the U.S. dollar, the U.S. petrodollar, and U.S. hegemony around the world. So we'll see what happens there. Have been buying gold at a historic pace and just topped 5,000 tons for the first time in history. This relentless central bank buying acts as a massive price-sensitive bid in the market. They are not trying to scalp a few points. They are accumulating strategic reserves for the long term and are doing so in ever-larger numbers. They are quiet, underappreciated, and unseen, Will, in the market. Look at this. They've been telling us this stuff right here, physical gold, physical silver, it's a thing of the past, and it is. These are Roman silver denarius. These are Japanese gold silver bars called electrum. It's a thing of the past, but that's what makes it so great, because it's been real money for thousands of years. So as mainstream media and people on social media are telling you it's a relic, central banks are not only stacking gold, but some are now starting to actually stack silver. So that's an important one right there. Let me go back here. Bullish. Back in October, says Carl M. here, when 175,000 silver futures contracts were outstanding, silver reached $50. Okay, remember that number right now, 175,000. Well-known silver investors warned of a triple top at that point. The warning proved wrong. The 50 level was taken out like a hot knife through butter, causing many spectators to stay on the sidelines, waiting for a dip that never came. There was no correction. Instead, the number of outstanding silver futures kept declining, even as prices continued to rise. The explosive move towards 121.50 was driven by far fewer futures contracts than earlier rally toward 50. This clearly shows that the leverage was already being reduced during the advance. The real flush came later. Silver crashed at 121.50 to 71 in just 48 hours, forcing the remaining over-leveraged positions out of the market. Since then, silver has recovered to 87, and now we're currently trading at 89.28 to 87, briefly touching 92. Today, only 142,000. So remember, back here is 175. Now today, only 142,000 futures contracts remain outstanding. This is extremely bullish. Who is ready? Let's go look at the charts and I'll get into some more news here. And Ethan C, channel member, dropped something in chat. Let me go look back on that. He's saying, I'm going to the LCS local coin shop tomorrow. I have about $50 plus face value of 90 proof silver state quarters, and I'm thinking about trading for some gold. Which do you think is more bullish? Silver? Ethan C, not a financial advisor, just some dude on the internet. I know it's fun. I know you want to switch it. But I'm not even considering it till we get into the 30s to 1. We're back up at 55 to 1. Secondly, right now there's kind of a glut of 90%, so they're not going to give you top dollar trade for it. So not a financial advisor, but if you're my brother, I would say hodl, hodl, hodl. I think it's going to get better. Again, I could be wrong. But we've been going strong here for 9 years, and so far we're killing it. And thank you so much, Georgia Stacker. MAGGA Stacker. Got it. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Check out your new custom channel member emojis, and I'll be seeing you in the war room. All channel members, you will all be reporting to the war room at the end of the stream. What happens in the war room stays in the war room, and we are just 12 minutes away from this chart starting to move here, the Shanghai Futures Exchange. Are you team green or team red? And ladies and gentlemen, I think we did it. If I refresh this and it says 62,100, it's time for the big show. Channel members, you know what to do. 62,100. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the 4th annual Crystal Light
Thank
National
you.
Aerobic Championship, featuring regional finalists from all across the United States,
Four-time.
competing for the title of America's Best Aerobic Athlete. Presenting
Four-time.
the reigning 1987 Crystal Light National Aerobic Champion.
Four-time.
Introducing the 4-time Crystal Light Champion, International Stacker.
Thank you so much. The name's International Stacker, coming to you live from Key West, Florida, where I'm closer to Cuba than a Walmart. Over 1,800 videos around the world. I've got these two in Poland, and guys, I'm releasing a video on Friday morning. Friday morning, it is at a coin show in Prague. Now, here's the situation. My Mega is this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? That's the situation. You got to be subscribed to enter it. 25 ounces of silver, pounds of copper, and some gold, and even other cool stuff's going to be given away on that date. So I'm going to drop that link in chat. But this morning, I gave a secret word, a password. Now, I've been randomly giving out passwords that when you sign up for the Mega Giveaway, it'll be clear. So write this down, but it will give you an advantage in the Mega Giveaway. The password this morning was keep secret, all one word. Someone put Ratkin in the chat. That was a previous password years ago. So keep secret, all one word. That's the password. So write that down. You're going to need that. It will give you an advantage in the Mega. And also, too, the video Friday morning will be the last password for the Mega Giveaway. So the video Friday morning will be the last password for the giveaway, as we are 10 minutes away from the Shanghai Futures Exchange starting to trade. 89.48 silver. 4,998 gold. What's going to happen, Team Green or Team Red? You let me know. Wow, got 20 Eagles for 86 a pop today. Good job, Yankee Hanky. Wow, that is good. Okay, so let's go back over here. So yeah, the password I gave today, this is the last time I'm going to give it, is keep secret. Write that down. It'll make sense once you enter the Mega. And then the last password is coming out Friday morning, and the Mega entries close Friday night. So you're going to have to see the video that day to get it. Okay. Now we are seeing shortages in Dubai, it's one of the Emirates in the UAE. When do you think we'll see it? When do you think it will hit the United States, the shortages? So this is in response to Silver Trade saying silver shortage hits Dubai, buyers paying 15% premium for physical. And then Bob the Billionaire always puts out this report. And the silver vaults are under attack. Under attack. Actually, they're just being little snakes and selling it off to the higher bidder. So poof, just like that, another 3 million ounces loaded on trucks, left out of the big bullion banks, not coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, things are getting absolutely insane. The silver squeeze shows no signs of stopping. Buckle up. Remember, March is the biggest, or one of the biggest delivery months of the year. January wasn't supposed to be, and this January was 5x last January. February's not a big month, and it's already huge. And thank you to everyone who voted tonight. You guys got to pick. I asked if I should do Comex Globex Open or Shanghai, and you guys said Shanghai. And Shanghai is opening here in just, what would that be, 9 minutes. 9 minutes, we'll start to see this move. Are you Team Green or are you Team Red? And remember, if you guys are asking me questions in chat, make sure to put at International Stacker. You're welcome, Lafferty. Thank you. Put at International Stacker so it pops out to me in all orange. I also put this out today. Billionaires are buying millions of ounces of silver while the mainstream media is telling you it's over. Think about that. David Bateman, who's a massive figurehead right now in the gold and silver community, he tweeted this out in March. Here are the reasons I invested close to $1 billion in precious metals over the past 6 months, including a purchase of 1.5% the annual global supply, 12.69 million ounces. So he did this. He puts the reasons why, but here's an updated tweet. And I got 2 questions in chat. R. Limazed says, do you feel this new virus going through India and Asia will affect metals? I mean, I don't know. I have to look into that more. It could. It could not. But if it does affect it, it's going to decrease actual supply, manufacturing, refining, etc. So it would be bullish. Ralph Ramsey saying, are you a generator after this morning? I'm not sure what that means if I'm a generator after this morning. I don't know. I could. I don't know what that means, so who knows? Where the king runs, it's the queen. Silver follows. A reclaim of 5,100 is the key for the metals kingdom. So Zach, thank you, Zach, and thank you for being a channel member. Are we making a bear flag on silver? Says Husky. Nah. We'll see, but nah, we'll see. I think we're going to get a nice little gap up here when the Shanghai Futures Exchange opens. We'll see. How do we become Diamond Claw members? Says Variable. You just got to upgrade your membership, Variable. Go down to where you became a member and click there, or go to the website or not the website. Go to my channel and click under memberships. It should show you there. Maybe someone else can help you. I'm dropping the giveaway link again right now in chat. So the giveaway link I'm dropping in chat, you got to be subscribed. 25 ounces of silver, some gold, and pounds of copper. Do you think David Bateman will tell us when he sells silver? Yeah, I do. How much silver do I get for 5,000 claws? Sorry, it's 0 SGT. I'm sorry about that. As an example, says Michael, as an example of some gaps that don't always fill, Tesla has gaps that never filled on the run up, some several years old. Totally true. Thank you for that, Michael. Yeah, the rule is all gaps must be filled, but really it ends up about being 95% of the time. So it's not a deal breaker, but it's not ideal. Are you running power in a generator? Oh, no. So I thought the power went out earlier. I blew a breaker. You guys, I was on the end of my live stream this morning and literally blew a breaker. I've never done that before. I was doing everything the same, so I don't know what happened. I figured it out. It was interesting. Tidal Wave, I tried to send you guys on a crab raid too, but I don't know, it was all messed up. Tidal Wave saying, I bought the dip of gold $49.50 per ounce on Saturday night. I plan holding for years. It wasn't a huge hit on my savings. Thoughts? I think that's very, very smart, Tidal Wave. And I say all the time that physical gold and silver are for long term, mid to long term, you can't lose. Again, not a financial advisor, just some dude on the internet with crabs. But if you're mid to long term, traditionally short term can be dangerous with physical metals. You might not always win, but right now we're in wild times where a lot of people are able to do that short-term arbitrage. But I think you're going to be thanking yourself 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, whenever that is. Has Viola in the basement? I do not have her in the basement. Those Oneida candles have humps like Daisy. They sure do. Guys, again, the name's International Stacker. I travel the world. Not only do I live stream charts like this, I live stream journeys around the world on gold and silver, and it wasn't that long ago that we met Daisy. You all told me to get on a camel.
I take the camel, guys. Camel cam, guys. Eshesim here.
The name Daisy.
Daisy the camel, guys. There you go. Oh, wow, look at the 3 pyramids, guys.
And I think Lafferty is right. I think the Comex might have did a circuit breaker on me. So here's what David Bateman just posted. Earlier this morning, no, yesterday, sorry. Last Friday when silver was down 33% and my silver miners were down 11%, I sold half my miners, lowering my tax hit, and rolled the 170 million proceeds into PSLV. Today I'm selling PSLV and buying 1,000-ounce bars in a total of 1.93 million ounces. If miners and silver rise to their mutual peaks, I will gain 20% extra on this transaction, lower my tax bill, and raise my silver ounce count to 14.8 million. I'll probably regret selling my miners, but I've decided to eliminate as much counterparty risk as possible in an abundance of caution. Great for Helica's wild performance this past year. Hope this purchase helps move silver back into physical market. Nice. So David Bateman doing the Lord's work over there. Is that a double top? Someone's saying. No. Because the top's way up here. We're good. We're good. We just got to stay focused here. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds until the Shanghai Futures Exchange opens. Let's see what happens there. And Ohosky is saying, I was looking at the daily and 6-hour candles. We're looking like a bear flag. I hope you're right, sir. I bought more silver Monday at 3 a.m., 72 an ounce. Wow, good job. You did better than JP Morgan Chase covering their shorts. They covered their shorts at 78. So 72, great job. Let's go back here to the news. Okay, look at this. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, price floors. And again, this is on X, previously known as Twitter. Follow me on here. INTL stacker. International wouldn't fit. So INTL stacker. But just like that, price floors are back on the table because they were previously on the table with this executive action. In here specifically, it talked about price floors. So everyone was talking about price floors, and then someone from the administration said price floors were off the table. Well, now they're back on. Price floors are back on the table. Buckle up. A preferential trade zone for critical minerals protected from external disruptions through enforceable price floors. We will establish reference prices for collateral for, I was supposed to say critical. It says cortical. I typed it wrong. For critical minerals at each stage of production. That was a quote out of Vice President Vance's speech here. So just like that, ladies and gentlemen, price floors are back on the table. And we've got a 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning till Shanghai opens. And okay, want me to read Ralph's comment? I'm going back up to see what Ralph's comment was. Ralph. I'm not seeing Ralph. Oh, there it is. Bad AFCI breaker, replace breaker. They cause fires. I was a licensed electrician for 5 years. Home inspector for over 20. Thank you, Ralph. I will replace that breaker. You may have just saved the crustacean nation. Wow, guys, variable just upgraded to Diamond Claws. Thank you again to all the Diamond Claws members of the channel. Really appreciate the support. Appreciate the support of all members. I'll see you all in the war room. Who in chat has Diamond Claws? Diamond Claws. And here we go. We're opening here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Where are we going? Gap up. Team Green 1, gap up. This is not a drill. I cannot yet say Li Shize Guadian because we got to make an all-time high to do that. Where's the all-time high? It was like 139,490. Wow. So we got to get back up there, but congratulations to everybody who is Team Green. So if my stream stops unexpectedly, it means that breaker switched again, okay? But I think we're good for now. So now let's see how this affects the the Comex, which is getting dumped on. Look at this. This is manufactured. Do you see this volume here in after hours? That is totally abnormal. So this is an after hours attack we're witnessing right now where liquidity is low. They were trying to smash it before the Shanghai Futures Exchange started trading. Look at that. That volume is not normal in after hours. Look at that. It's nearly identical to the daily volume. And do you guys think we traded over 1 billion paper ounces today? It's very possible we traded another 1 billion paper ounces today. We closed the gap, I guess. No, we didn't, Brian. There's more. Oh, that gap. You're right. Well, that's good news. We got that gap closed. Okay, I'll take that. Now we can bounce back up. Get a small alternate power system. Something like that. Yeah, I probably need to do something like that. I probably do. We're probably at that stage. But if you're just joining, the name's International Stacker, coming to you live from Key West, Florida, where I'm closer to Cuba than a Walmart. 1,800 videos around the world. And this video right here, if you go to videos latest, in my second to last video out, I'm giving away 25 ounces of silver, pounds of copper, and some gold. You got to be subscribed to enter. I'm going to put the link in chat again. And someone's saying, are we doing champagne again? Yes. I got to get it, though. But we're doing champagne again when we break 100. Yes. Remember, the breaker has 1/32 of an ounce of silver in it. Good point, Jonathan. I need to fish that out of there. So we'll see what happens here in Shanghai. Currently trading at $101.98. But congratulations to Team Green. I knew we could do it. All channel members, we will be going to the live, to the war room at the end of this. All channel members, we will be going to the war room at the end of this stream. Okay. So, okay, gold to silver ratio. Let's keep going down here. Trying to find you guys more news. I did hear there's some sort of drama going on with Binance. I'm not sure what, if it's FUD or real. That's a crypto exchange, one of the major ones. Okay. I'm trying to find us more gold and silver news here. Let's go over to notifications real quick. This is the way, Crustacean Nation. How much gold was confiscated in 1933?
From massive game-changing tips to help you become a better survivor, to small niche tips that will help you save money, here are 36 things that you should never do as a survivor in Dead by Daylight. The last 6 tips on this list are the most crucial for helping you improve as survivor, so make sure you stick around for that. Number 1, never work on the same generator as someone else at the beginning of the match. Generators become less efficient when you have multiple survivors working on them, hence why it gets the speed debuff and the bar becomes red. Plus, if the killer comes to your gen, then they're suddenly pressuring multiple survivors for free rather than just pressuring one survivor. So make sure you split up to become more efficient on gens and to prevent the killer from gaining free pressure. Number 2, never work on the dangerous side of gens. Now this is a pretty situational tip and is different for every single generator, but the point of this tip is to recognize which side of the gen is safer to work on than others. Here are a few examples of what I mean. If you're on an indoor map like this and you're playing against a stealth killer, then this is the safe part of the gen because it gives you more time to react to the killer coming around the corner so you don't get grabbed. If you're playing against a ranged killer, then you always want to be on the furthest side from them so they can't hit you from far away and are forced to walk all the way to you if they want to get you off the gen. Some generators have a safe side depending on the resources that are nearby. Like for this generator, you should work on this side because it's closer to the pallet, or you could work on this generator on this side because it gives you a better angle to fast vault the window. The overall point of this tip is just that not all sides of the gen are equal, so apply some logic to which side you should work on. Number 3, never constantly look forward in chase. This is something I see a lot of new players do, but you need to be aware of the killer's positioning during your chase. Obviously, don't be looking at them the entire time because then you won't know where you're going and you'll bump into walls, but make sure you glance at them every once in a while to see how close they are to you or what they're doing. If you watch literally any good survivor player, you'll see them doing this constantly so they know exactly how much time they have to get to a resource. Number 4, never just stand near the killer if you're going for a pallet or flashlight or flashbang save. Crouching makes you quieter, so you may as well crouch if you're standing still waiting to go for a save. Otherwise, the killer might hear you